Yesterday in the post I received the Kickstarter kind of project for the Espruino microcontroller board. This is something I've been looking forward to receiving, and the main kind of difference with this board versus any other is that it runs JavaScript. You program it just in JavaScript, which for me, and that's what I do kind of most days, it's a brilliant change. And this isn't a review, it's just a first look, just the first few looks at it, and it's really interesting. I'm really pleased with this. I did receive two boards, so I've got two of these boards along with two kind of radio kind of transceivers. These just kind of fairly low power, low range, just for transmitting kind of data one way or another. And this was sold as the sensor network package, and so that's why you've got two of those, two boards, two transceivers to send data between the two. And so the board is really, it's quite interesting amongst some of the others I've received. It doesn't feel the best quality, but I think that might be an unfair comment to make. But it's got kind of prototyping area on board, which is quite nice to see. So you can actually kind of add your own kind of parts, and there's a through-hole and SMD pads there. It's got a proper breakout area on the back for a Bluetooth module, and that, I believe, just drops in place and kind of replicates the same serial connection that the USB cable provides. You can kind of program and update via that connection. There's also an onboard microSD socket, and it can run from 5 volts from here, or from a lithium-ion pack. It's got a connector for one of those. It's got a couple of switches on board. One is I think a generic button, one's a reset, and that's the board as it stands. One of the really cool parts of this is the programmer. Rather than having some proprietary bit of software that you need to install or set up, or maybe a modification for the Arduino environment as some of the other boards I've worked with recently use, it uses a Chrome web app, which is really cool. The Chrome recently had the ability added to communicate with serial ports, which is what makes this thing kind of possible. And so got the app running here. It looks like shit. It doesn't work on the Mac, or at least not on the environment I've got running here. I had a test today on a Windows machine, and it renders properly. These two panels, there's an output panel and a programming panel. They're supposed to sit side by side, and then various buttons on the top. It just does not render at all. It's just about usable, but some of the functions don't work. There's a whole settings menu for configuring and updating the firmware. So when I was connecting this last night, it was saying firmware update required, but the button to update the firmware wasn't there, so which is a bit daft. I'm hoping this will get fixed soon. Let's see, it's really straightforward. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. You can see in here it's picked up the serial ports. It's got a long list of serial ports on the computer, and it then kind of connects. There's a couple of LEDs on the board down here, which is useful for testing. And so if you click connect, there we go, it's connected. It's supposed to be obviously a lot better than this, but up in the top panel here is a default program which just flashes the LED. It's just using the kind of set interval function, and with a 500 millisecond delay, and every time that comes around it inverts the value of L and writes it out to one of the LEDs. And if I upload that, wait a minute, it doesn't look like it's connected. And for some reason it's no longer connecting anymore. Disconnect that, reconnect. It's been really reliable up until now. I've had no problems at all. It's been great. That looks better. That looks like it's connected properly now. And so if I send this command to it, you can see the red light is now flashing. It's also got, it outputs some kind of console thing. So this is like a JavaScript console, as you'd find in the browser. And there are a couple of these commands are available. And so you can type in, so let's go for the LED 3. It's LED3.write, and we're going to write a 1 to it. And so there's 3 LEDs on here. So I've got LED3.write, I'm passing in a 1, and I press enter, and the blue light comes on. And it's real-time, real debugging like you would with a website debugging for JavaScript on there. It's fantastic. The one kind of bizarre thing I found is the return character doesn't work as expected. So if you wanted to go up and change this to LED2, so you'd switch that to LED2 and you'd typically press enter, but it doesn't enter, it just puts a new line in place. So I'm not quite sure why that decision was made, but it's a little bit bizarre. And then just drop down to the end. So the third light comes on. And you've also got console log in here as well. So you can do console log LED2.read. And obviously LED2 is on. So we get true back. It's really, really nice. I'm really looking forward to using this and getting it up and running. Hopefully this will get fixed because it's a pain in the arse working with this kind of crappy layout here. But yeah, for the first look, it's been really pleased. Oh, and just there's one bizarre thing I haven't quite been able to figure out yet. The program up here, when you upload it to the board, it starts working, which is this red LED. But if you remove and reapply power, that program stops functioning. So if I reconnect, get nothing. Now I'd have expected the last program in memory to start up automatically, but it doesn't. I've tried this from battery power as well in case there's maybe some debugging mode that's configured, and it still doesn't work. Kind of resetting it doesn't help. The other switch doesn't do anything. So it's either something a little bit odd here, or maybe something I'm not quite aware of as to how to get one of these programs to boot up automatically. But hopefully that'll be a pretty simple problem to solve. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to using these boards. They're great.